Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hobby Lodge. It is Friday, so of course we're going to be looking at another homebrew game. And well, yes, it is another game from Psytronik. I seem to be collecting an awful lot of them, and I would love to show them to you. So that's what I've been doing. This time around, we have a game called Yoomp 64, which I believe is a remake of a classic game on some other systems. And it's called Yoomp 64, obviously, because it is now available on the Commodore 64. And it's a really good, fun puzzle game is pretty much all I can call it. You've probably seen games like this before. It has, for me, the feel of games like Trailblazer and other games like that that came out on the Commodore 64, except this time you're in a tunnel rather than a flat plane, and you're trying to navigate the ball around this environment to reach the end. It has 23 levels in it. I'm nowhere near the end of getting to those 23 levels because it does get a bit crazy as it goes. But yeah, really cool game. So what I'm going to do, as usual, we'll show you what you get when you buy the game, and then we'll jump into some gameplay, and then we'll do a bit of a summary. Yes, so Yoomp, and it's Yoomp with an exclamation mark at the end if you're searching for it. I did first thing when I saw it, it was Yompy. I thought it was like a weird eye or something like that, but it's not. It is just an exclamation mark. Yeah, I'm going to open this up and show you. So I got it on disc. I believe it's on a number of different formats. The cartridges always seem to be the things that sell out, so I don't believe you can still get this on cartridge, but I think it may have been available originally on the cartridge. I can't see when this 2018 I think this came out, so for some people this might be an older game, but for me it's still relatively new. I've had it a little while, and I've played it a number of times, and I really do enjoy it. But yeah, as always, high quality stuff, right? So I always get the discs. I love the premium disc editions they do for these games. They come in lovely plastic cases. You get great sort of cardstock inlays, as you can see there. Great cover art on it, and on the back there you can see some screenshots of the game, and also the sort of accreditations to the people that made it. So yeah, really cool. Inside, lovely little manual. Don't get these anymore these days, do you? So yeah, nice to get a bit of a manual. Even gives you a story if you want to know the story, the background of Yoomp. Yeah, we get to the loading instructions, and most importantly is probably this page here, which talks all about the different power-ups you can get whilst you're traversing these puzzle tunnels that you're in. There are squares that when you land on them have different effects, are basically slowing up extra lives, some cause an earthquake on screen. They do all sorts of things, and then of course finally we have the disc itself. So it's a lovely 5 1/4 inch floppy disk. It's exactly as you'd expect. I love these things. I genuinely really do. I was very fortunate, as I've said many times, to have the disc system when I was a kid. So getting to go back and playing these games on discs is really good. It's nice that it is on disc because it is a bit of a multi-load. So between levels, it does access the disc very briefly to play, to sort of load the next level. So I don't know if this comes on tape off the top of my head. It might do. That could be a little bit annoying if you've got to load every time. The multi-loads on tapes can be a little bit tedious, but certainly if you've got the cartridge, it'll work immediately, and discs pretty darn fast as well. So yeah, great product as always in the way it's presented, and yeah, that bit I can't complain about at all. So let's jump over to the game. As you can see, it's loaded up behind me. Let's jump into there, take a look, and then we can come back and give you a bit of a summary. All right, so I hope you enjoy the game. And here we are, Yoomp 64, so the Commodore 64 by Psytronik. Really simple menu, simply music or sound effects, you can make a choice. I would always go with the music, and there is a password system as well, which you'll get as you play. There is a short period of loading in between each level, but you're talking maybe 4 or 5 seconds, if that. And obviously you press the fire button as soon as you're ready to go. And here we are. So we are this little ball, and we are bouncing down this tunnel. And as we bounce down, we can see there's gaps in the tunnel we need to navigate around. And you do this by just using left or right on the joystick. Now you can see on the bottom right corner, I have a number of jumps. And these are sort of powered jumps. So if I think I can't make a gap, or I get a little bit stuck, just before I bounce, I can press the fire button, and I'll get a sort of, you know, powerful jump to make it to the next screen. You saw me using it just then, but I didn't actually need to, because actually those arrows on the floor, if you look at the power-ups in the little manual, will show that those up arrows, or sort of arrows that are pointing deeper into the tunnel, are the sort of boost arrows. So they would have got me there regardless. I also just hit one of those earthquake symbols as well. I just hit another one, and that's making the screen shake. And that's not really a power-up, that's almost a distraction to try and put you off. So you want to either, you can hit those, there's no real penalty for it. There are many power-ups in here that you might want to try and get. So here again, we've seen I've changed the screen color. This is called the lightning square, and it changes the tone of the screen, just again to try and put you off. All of these things are designed to hopefully, well, not hopefully they want you to fail and not complete the level, but as you can see, we made it through this one just fine. So yeah, that's the play of the game. So you've already just seen in a very quick sort of video there what is needed for you to get through it, and we can just keep going. So here's the password, so you can use this to skip that level, which again would be really useful for people when they're playing, to be able to jump back to the square they're at. So here we go again. Yeah, I'm going to use those big arrows to jump to the next gap, because my normal bounce would not make it over that gap. My normal bounce is only 1 square long, and these are 2 squares away, so I need to use the arrow to navigate. I'm doing that. So these beginning levels are just teaching you things like that. So avoid the gaps, hit the arrows, and just navigate the lower half of the screen. Now there are later levels where you're having to go full 360 around the screen, and it tries to sort of ease you into some of this stuff. As you can see now, I have the ability to go all the way around. I'm going to go up to the side here, and I'm going to work my way back around again, and just keep doing this. And again, the music's great, so it's not something you sort of feel that it would just drive you crazy over a time. And we've done another level. So we're 2 down. Now I'm obviously not going to show you all the levels in the game. In fact, I may just go quiet in a bit, because there's no point me keep talking over this whilst you're watching it. Yeah, it's I really like the concept. I think the colours are fantastic. Like, it really is quite vibrant, and there are some levels where the colour it obviously is trying to make the game difficult as well. You don't want this game to be too easy, and it tries to mess with you a little bit. Even these small holes in the floor here, you can see I just fell down one. You can bounce along the edge if you're accurate, but if any part of the ball hits the hole, you're out of the game. So you've got to try and be very careful. Don't take unnecessary risks if you don't need them. Navigate around the top of the screen or the bottom of the screen, and I can see, unfortunately, I died again. It is a bit of forward planning as well, as you're looking down the tunnel, what's coming, where are the squares leading to, do I need to hit a power up, do I need to navigate around the top of the screen, do I need to use my emergency jumps that I've got to save myself. Maybe I have gone in the wrong direction and I'm going to need to do a big jump to sort of get round the edge of the screen pretty quickly. But yeah, you can see that it just takes a little bit of getting used to the jump mechanic, get that rhythm of the bounce going, and yeah, you can start to navigate these screens pretty quickly. So yeah, I'm going to go quiet for a little bit and just let you enjoy the screen and the game, and then I'll come back when there's anything that's of significance. Another level complete. On to the next one. So again, like I said before, short little loading in between. I don't know if this game is available on tape or not. If it was, you'd probably need to do a little bit of loading, but I don't think it is. And even if it was, that load is far too quick, I think, to there'd be any significance on tape. So yeah. So again, just hit another earthquake square there. We're going to start getting to some bits now that really require you to use the full 360 rotation of the tunnel. And yeah, so this is where I really like the levels. They start to get a bit more, you have no choice but to make your way completely around the level. But as you can see, there is opportunity to potentially take different paths, and I've left myself a bit open then. I shouldn't have gone too far down. I should have stayed near the top and I'd have been okay. But yeah, I love the fact that yes, there's probably more optimal routes, but as you play and learn, you'll sort of determine what those more optimal routes are. And yeah, I think it's a great little puzzle game. It's one of those ones you just keep coming back to and back to, just trying to get better and trying to make it through that next level. But yeah, really enjoyable. So yeah, I think at this point you've seen, even though you've only seen like 3 or 4 levels of the game, you have seen the sort of the extent of the game, right? You haven't. It's hard. I don't want to make this game sound simple, because obviously it isn't simple. It's very well put together, and obviously took a lot of effort to do. But you now understand what the point of the game is. It is to traverse your little bouncy ball through the levels, and to do that with the limited amount of lives you have, and hopefully get a high score. But let's head back now, and we can summarize. Well, welcome back. What did you think of Yoomp 64? It's a really easy game to review, to be honest, because there's not a huge amount of complexity to it, but it's great fun to play, right? You know, just trying to get through those levels. Crikey, if you've got anything with your eyes, you might find it a bit squirrely at sometimes. Certainly I found myself a bit sort of turned upside down at different points. But yeah, I think the music's great. It's got a great melody to play along with. It's not something you're going to get frustrated to listening to. I think the controls work brilliantly well. The power-ups are a nice thing to have in there. Just adds a bit of variety to the game as you're playing. The colours look great. I mean, it's very vibrant. I mean, it really is in your face at some points. Yeah, the difficulty ramps up. I don't think I got very far, but you know, it's something you learn to get good at, basically. So it's good to sort of keep going back, keep learning the levels and progressing through it as best you can. But I generally really enjoy it. I think it's a great sort of pick up and play game. You can just jump in there, do a couple of levels. Obviously there is the password system in there, so you can jump to a level you need to continue. But yeah, if you have the opportunity, check out Yoomp 64. Give it a go, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. But yeah, for me, it's a really simple game in the way that, you know, there isn't too much depth to talk about in there, but it plays great. It's a great keep going back, play again, get better, try and beat a high score, try and get to that elusive 23rd level. I'm not sure I'll ever get there, but yeah, Yoomp 64. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, thank you very much for watching. Give us a like. If you're not subscribed, hit subscribe. And we'll be back next Friday for another homebrew game on the Commodore 64. If you'd like to see other homebrew games for other systems, leave a comment as well. It doesn't always have to be 64, but that is where my love is. But I have got other systems I could be looking at homebrew games for as well. So maybe I will. Anyway, I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.